So, we'd like to move a lot of those out of the below average, of course, before first grade. 33% in the average low school-wide, or all through kindergarten. 17% average high throughout kindergarten, and 8% above average in kindergarten. And that's just on the reading foundation. So, does that come as a surprise to y'all? Are y'all still like the way we sit down with them and click their answers for them? Is that, I think that's still the best way to do it? All that we think Antron's real good for kindergarten.
That's kind of what I think, but not going to change. So
we all think the same thing.
What might change?
Maybe. It's just hard to me, almost any test is hard to assess on kindergarten. I mean, I don't know what would be
Especially
better.
first of the year, I mean.
And you've got some that's never come out of the house, you know what I'm saying, in any kind of academic.
I wish we didn't even have to do it the first year, but then if you don't do it the first year, you can't show growth through the year.
That's a good thing for you guys, though, by the time it gets to the end of the year, right? You don't have a lot of growth.
So with math, with kindergarten, we had 41% in the below average, 14% in the low average, 17% in the average high, and 28% above average. So that's a big number.
That's big.
For above average in math. And then, of course, we do have a big percentage in the below average too. So you kind of either got high or low, and a few in between.
Well, like looking at my belows, like they're just quiet ones, you know, that I bet just didn't do, you know, perform very well.
That'd be good. Pull them out their shells. The only other notes that I had for kindergarten really were just continue your progress monitoring. Kindergarten will be the only grade that turns in monthly from here on out, just because we will see such a big difference in them. But just once a month is good. If you want to progress monitor your lowest ones more often, you can. But I mean, if that's going to eat up your instructional time, I would much rather you be doing something to lead them towards more growth than to just be sitting there having them call letters or whatever. We don't really have to talk about. I don't know in a kindergarten room what tier 2 really looks like, and I know that y'all don't have to pull out except for EL. We do want to kind of look at their progress monitoring every 4 to 6 weeks and see, like, if whatever they're doing in EL, or if you do a tier 2 in your classroom, if whatever we're doing is working. If it's not, then we might need to make some adjustments, just kind of evaluate it a little bit and say, hey, look, it's been 6 weeks and they ain't moved an inch. So what else can we do? And then come up with some suggestions. And we can do that as a team. It's not anything you have to just do by yourself, but we can kind of try to come up with some other ways. And I know that the idea has been thrown around about maybe getting somebody for a kindergarten intervention, but we don't really have any names of someone good. So that's going to be huge. We don't want to just get somebody that's just going to be pulling on to say they're pulling on. So if they're coming out of the classroom, it needs to be somebody that is
Is it going to be a full-time position? It won't be. Okay.
But from my point of view, I'd rather keep them in my classroom as to send them with somebody that's
Oh,
not
you
going
mean
to
if the kids are coming out of the classroom?
Yes.
I thought you meant if the
No.
teachers coming out. Okay.
No,
Gotcha.
if the kids are coming out of the classroom, we want it to be worth their time. So we don't want to just stick somebody in there that's.
The perfect scenario would be to find somebody that's retired, that's had some experience in kindergarten, first, second grade, they could come in a couple of days, 2 to 3 days a week, pull some third grade from kindergarten. That's what I'm sort of looking for right now. I don't know anybody that fits that bill.
You know somebody?
No, I'm just not retired yet.
Won't
be long.
No, I'm much longer.
Yeah, definitely somebody that wants to work with them and watch them move and grow like we do.
We want to go slow into this because I want to make sure we want to do it this time. I won't be able for them to get here at the time they need to be here to work good for y'all when they get pulled out. And also be able to work with third Still sort of trying to figure our way as we go here and find that.
What about Linda Hawkins? You may talk to her or talk about
I
her.
thought about her.
I'm carrying food over there today.
That's her mom.
Her mom passed away.
Yeah,
So
but she's still
I
tutors.
thought
so
about
don't
Jody
think
Mays,
she'll be
but I
great.
think she works.
she
Yeah,
does
that's
for
right.
CL, and you can't work over so many hours.
I think Linda would be wonderful.
She
'cause
would be.
She already tutors anyway now, so.
I hadn't thought
She's
about her, but that would be.
Karen Hawkins, she lives in Fort Payne, though, don't she?
Yeah, she would come.
Yeah, I thought about this.
Miss Mays is at the high school, like, she's been there a whole lot more this time than she was last year too. So, I think they just hired a new guy though, to do, to help her with, kind of take some of that off her.
And that's all I've got as far as data for kindergarten, because like I said, it just is what it is right now. We'll look, middle of the year and end of the year and kind of look at some growth and see, maybe what's working, what's not working, where we can adjust, all that good stuff.
Can you pull that up there, this here on that?
Yeah, you want to go ahead and do it?
Yeah, we'll knock this out. Alright, I'm gonna hand y'all a few of these, y'all can kinda look at that when I'm,
You want me to go back there and start that?
I've got it already started, just went ahead and did it anyway. Y'all kinda look on,
Yeah, we can share.
pass one down then.
Okay, okay, one.
Right. The diagnostic for the third grade results in there with that, the iReady. You can see on the little pyramid there, we've got the 42% at risk, which we want to shrink that down. And this is, from my understanding, without any third grade instruction so far. So that should look a whole lot different at the end of the year. And then you look over here on the right side, you've got the areas that are in need of the biggest improvement right there, vocabulary, comprehension, literature, and then comprehension informational text, which you kind of expect that one because they don't do near as much as that at this time. But can you pull that projected one up like you was looking at earlier? Yeah, this is what you would hope that how the change on the left side of that, and then on the right side as well. That's what you hope to get to by the end of the year once they've had a full year of instruction.
We are starting here, this is the beginning of the year review, so when they took it without any third grade instruction, like where they should have been at the very beginning of the year, this is what it looked like. So which looks good, but now we're a little further into school, and so we're kind of looking like this. If we base it on third grade standards, this is really where they're at, but if we give them that third grade instruction all year, then we're hoping by the beginning of fourth grade that our triangle will look like that again. And they'll be ready for that fourth grade instruction. So,
You want to go over the Scantron? You can do that as
yeah,
well.
we can do that. Okay, so in reading on our Scantron, you can see also that the data matches up because we have 40% in the below average, where on that same iReady one, let me go back to the standard view, we also have 43% in that same category. So it matches up pretty closely. And then also on our DIBELS data, we had 41% in the intensive category. So our DIBELS, our iReady, our Scantron is all matching up across. So we know that we have 3 pieces of really good data to support what we're doing with these kids in the classroom. So.
That's good.
I think that first view you showed, which is the one that we have here, like when we had our leadership team meetings, like that it really stands out exactly what we were talking about the phonological awareness and the high frequency words, shows the programs that we're doing, the Saxon and all those are working so well, and it's such a big gap from that to the comprehension.
Well, and I think about too, we've talked about this, but looking at this, this group did not have any Saxon phonics. So we're hoping when we get a group in third grade that's had some Saxon phonics, that this phonics gap closes.
They did have it.
They did have it, yeah.
These third graders have first grade? Oh, okay, well, they did have 1 year, but when we get a group that's had it 2 years,
Yeah.
which will be the first graders this year, right?
Yes.
So they'll still be a little while. We are hoping to pilot this in second grade as well.
That's what's fine, that's the second grade, not doing
Mhm.
phonics.
We,
It's just so expensive, that's the
Yeah.
problem. But we're thinking more than maybe worth it, so we may have to do some adjustments.
So if so, that'll be, and what this is doing is, creating that pathway. It's, they do this diagnostic and then, it gives them an individualized pathway where it gives them instruction in their gaps. So it's like it's an online pathway, but their lessons have 3 parts to them. So the first part is instruction, and it's real kid-friendly, real engaging. And then the middle part is a practice where they practice doing things with words and everything. And then the last part of it's an assessment. They have to pass that assessment portion with a 70%, or they have to do the lesson all over again.
From my experience with this program, when I was at Oxford, we did it at the middle school. So 7th and 8th grade, I think this is geared more for this, like for elementary. Now, the 7th and 8th grade students, they were just like, it was kind of childish to them, the little aliens talking to you and all that. But I think that should do good. You should see good growth in reading. And if you decide to do math as well on there, because we did see a good bit of growth, I think, in math when I was at Oxford, because the program was really helping them there. But the reading, I think the kids kind of just, of course, kids don't like to read anyway, especially middle school kids. That's all. If you got anything else, I'm good for that. So, thank y'all for
I had a couple questions real quick.
what you got.
How are we presently teaching quadratic inequalities? What is our goal for that?
Really? Quadratic inequality. We're not talking about math.
Is that on video?
Yes, that was.